Oh, we were just speaking about you when you were coming back.
Okay, everybody, welcome. Let's get going.
In addition to Reb Shlomo Carlebach, now I'm going to hear your Chachma too.
You should be an ambassador.
Yeah, right.
You should be an ambassador.
No. She opened up her
I know, but when you said in addition to,
wow.
Michal, what page are we on? 198?
Yes.
Okay, so the last thing we did was with that story, and we're starting the second paragraph on page 198. And the point of the story was that on Purim you go beyond, that whole story is that they went beyond and were able to turn around people who were planning to perpetuate, swearing to be best friends with the Jews. And so he says, sometimes we sort of get stuck in doubts. How does it make sense that when Mashiach is going to come, Pitom Kol Yohav Otanu, that all of a sudden the whole world will love us. וכן תמיד תזכרו את הסיפור של הרבי הקדוש מדינוב, והוא עוד לא המשיח. So remember the story of the Dinover, and he's not even Mashiach, right? So, in other words, like, you look at what's going on today in the news and everything in our history with so much anti-Semitism. And, and the prophecies about when Mashiach comes is that, that all the nations are going to stream towards Yerushalayim. They're all going to want to be our best friends. And you wonder, really, can that be? Will that actually happen? So Reb Shlomo says, remember the story with the Dinover, and realize that he's not even Mashiach, and he was able to, to do this big transformation among these who were planning a pogrom. So, Kol hagulot shenig'alnu hayu al yedei Moshe v'Aaron. So now Reb Shlomo is shifting a little bit, and he's saying that all the redemptions that we had in the past was through Moshe and Aaron. You know where I am? אבל בפורים מרדכי ואסתר גאלו אותנו. But in Purim, the redemption took place through Mordechai and Esther. וברור שהתיקון הכי גדול של חטא עץ הדעת הוא אסתר. And it's clear that the biggest fixing of the sin of the tree of knowledge of good and evil was done through Esther. כי אסתר הייתה גלגול הנשמה של חווה. Esther was a reincarnation of neshamas, of Chava's neshama. Let's see where the footnote takes us to. He's quoting from the Bnei Yissaschar. Okay.
How do you say footnote in Hebrew?
הערת שוליים. Okay. So למה הקדוש ברוך הוא אמר לחווה שיהיה לה קשה ללדת ילדים? Why did God say to Chava for her to raise children? To give birth to children. כי ילדים צריכים אהבה אינסופית. Because children need infinite love. אם את מודדת ושוקלת את הטוב ואת הרע, if you're measuring and you're weighing the good and the bad, איך את יכולת להיות אמא טובה? How can you be a good mother? In other words, if the whole relationship is going to be conditional, relationship of a mother. Not now. Now there we go. Yeah. So, right, Chava ate from the tree of knowledge, and she thought that would be a good thing to do, because to know what's good, to know what's bad, and so on. So it's true, you need to know what's good and what's bad, but you also got to make sure that you don't go into that consciousness of good and bad to the point that it ruins your relationship with your children. Your relationship with your children is a altogether different thing. Today is the 7th of Adar, right? You know what's special about the 7th of Adar? It's Moshe Rabbeinu's Yortzeit. Today.
It's his Yom Huledet.
It is also his Yom Huledet. Gemara says that when Haman was casting the lots, and it came out that the lots picked the month of Adar, so it says that Haman was happy. Why? Because he knew that Moshe Rabbeinu died in the month of Adar. So the Gemara says that but he didn't. But it's also true that Moshe Rabbeinu was born in Adar. So he thought that since Moshe Rabbeinu died in Adar, that would be a month that would be easy for him to do his evil against the Jews. So the Gemara says, but he didn't realize that Haman was born on the 7th of Adar as well. Okay, so how does that help? So it's explained in other words. So how does it help to know that he was also born on that day, right?
That was the birth of redemption.
But still he died on that day. So the Chassidus explains that that it says that Moshe Rabbeinu's neshama spread itself out into the souls of all the Jewish people. That means to say that an aspect of Moshe Rabbeinu's neshama. And that's your connection with Torah, but even deeper is your connection with Am Yisrael. Because this week's Parsha is Parshat Tetzaveh, and it's an unusual Parsha. It's the only Parsha in which, from the time of Moshe Rabbeinu's birth to the end of the Torah, Moshe Rabbeinu's name is mentioned in every Parsha except for this one. So it's explained that this Parsha always comes out during the week of Moshe Rabbeinu's Yortzeit. And Moshe Rabbeinu had said to Hashem, and that's going to be in next week's Parsha, after the golden calf, Moshe Rabbeinu said to the Rebbeinu Shalom, if you forgive the people, good, and if not, he said, erase me from your book. Which means to say, erase me from all of existence, erase me from your book, because the Torah is the whole existence of the world. Right? That the Torah, the world is created according to the Torah. So there's so to understand the depth of Moshe Rabbeinu's statement, his willingness to give up his entire existence for the Jewish people, you have to realize that Moshe Rabbeinu basically was there were two essential things to his very being. The one is that he's the one that brought us the Torah, so much so that the Navi refers to the Torah as Torah Moshe Rabbeinu's Torah. And on the other hand, he was not on the other hand, but he was also Ro'eh Ne'eman. He was the trusted shepherd of the Jewish people. So here he is in this dilemma. On the one hand, so it's only 40 days later, and we make a golden calf. We just received the Torah 40 days later, and we're already doing it, right? We're not so very good at being religious, right? But being Jewish is more than just being religious. Religious is very important, but the concept of religious is needs to be understood. But so here we are, and 40 days later we'll make a golden calf. So according to the Torah, we're supposed to be, like Hashem says, we deserve to receive the full retribution. But Moshe Rabbeinu's deepest essence was that he was the shepherd of the Jewish people. And Yisrael, Aval Pi Shechata Yisrael, who a Jew, even if he transgressed, is a Yid. And he's our shepherd, and he knows that that's his deepest essence, and he has to take care of us. He has to take care of every one of us. And even if it means that he has to give up his own existence, he was ready to do it. So that's why this Pasha says about Tetzaveh, his name isn't mentioned, because since he said erase my name, so it had to be, his curse had to be fulfilled at least partially. So there's this one Pasha that his name is not mentioned in. But what happens is his name is not mentioned, but Hashem speaks to him, Vata, you, which is even deeper than the name, right? Because if you were living somewhere all by yourself, which I don't think you would want to do, right? But let's say you're all by yourself. Would you need a name? But you'd go over to the tree and you'd say, hey, my name is Michal. My name is Shaya. Would you go tell the fishes? Would you tell, what would you do, right?
Maybe I would
you would
ask
tell
the tree
them.
for his name.
Yeah.
See if he answers.
Yeah, I know you.
And if he
And
answers that,
But tell me his name is.
yeah, okay. So a name is only a name is,
then you need more than a tree to talk to you.
and so a name is basically so that somebody else can address you, right? But you, V'ata, means Hashem is saying you. That means that Moshe Rabbeinu is he's saying to Moshe Rabbeinu, Moshe Rabbeinu is like Mamish Nocheach. He's like right in front of him. He's saying you, your essence is you. In other words, all the other mitzvahs that I've given you to tell the people, it's through the aspect of Moshe, through the aspect of your wisdom, of the wisdom of the Torah, etc. But now this particular mitzvah is you're going to give over to the people from your deepest essence as their shepherd. Okay? And what's the mitzvah? The mitzvah is the making of the olive oil for the menorah. So I'll leave you with a question to think about, which maybe you'll have an answer tomorrow. So we understand why Hashem is addressing him as V'ata, but why is it particularly concerning this mitzvah of the Shem Zayzach? Okay, we'll leave you with that question. Remind me tomorrow. We'll speak more about that. But the idea over here is that take a mother whose child is a deviant, right? So if she's in the mode of Eitz Hadat, Tovara, right? So she's not going to be so connected with her child after all. Like, look at the terrible report card. Look, every day he comes home with a note. He took the teacher's purse. He did this. He did that. And if the relationship is conditional, that's a relationship of Eitz Hadat, right? And Hashem is saying to Chava, if you're going to relate to your children in an Eitz Hadat, Tovara consciousness, you're not going to be a very good mother. כולם יודעים שפורים הוא החג הראשון שהוסיפו על החגים הכתובים בתורה. Everybody knows, and this is something that everybody does know. Usually whenever Reb Shlomo would say everybody knows, nobody knew. But this everybody knew. That Purim is the first holiday that was added to the holidays that are listed, that are mentioned in the Torah.
Purim came before Hanukkah?
Much before Hanukkah. Yeah. Purim was before, it was the first temple, and Hanukkah was during the time of the second person edition. It was a few hundred years before. So, not only did they add one day alone, another holiday, they added a new dimension to the Torah. They added the dimension of the infinite. And what is that supposed to mean? So let's see. Even from heaven, the Torah is speaking about good and evil. But in order to fix the sin of the Eitz Hadat, which is on the level of evaluating and measuring, you have to be on the level of infinite. This is something very deep. So we're going to have to understand that. We'll see if Reb Shlomo is going to be explaining that, but okay, I'll hold off and let's see what he says. And I want you to know something beautiful. We have all kinds of names for God. We have a name for God that's the one who is good and does good all the time. Shem Acher LaHashem HaRafeh is another name for Hashem, who heals, the healer. אבל איך אפשר לתת שם לבחינה אינסופית? But how do you name, what name could you use for God to describe it? בגלל זה, is for this reason that Hashem shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu בכלל לא מופיע במגילה. It's for this reason that God's name doesn't show up in the Megillah at all. כי בפורים אנחנו שיכורים וגם בשמיים שיכורים, because we're drunk on Purim, and in heaven they're also drunk. כל החגים נגמרים בשקיעה. All the holidays finish at sunset, אבל בפורים החג ממשיך למחרת, בפורים, can you get the door someone? אבל בפורים החג ממשיך למחרת. Purim, the holiday continues to the next day. ממשיך לכל השנה. It continues throughout the year. כי הוא אין סופי, because the holiday, who is it? Yeah, well, what's his name?
What's your name?
Yeah, okay, so she's upstairs, give a shout. נתנאל, היכנס בבקשה. כן, שלום עליכם. מה, אתה צריך את יהודית? אתה צריך את ג'ודי?
לא, המונה אמר לי שישיבה כן הכל חבר'ה בשבילי אחד.
יש. So, sorry for the interruption. So in other words, Purim continues, and we're on page 199. Purim continues, and in fact, there's a teaching in the Talmud that says that after Mashiach comes, one of the only two holidays we're going to continue celebrating are Hanukkah and Purim. Okay, so Purim continues. It's also interesting that in Halacha, did you ever hear of Purim Saragossa? You ever heard of Purim Saragossa?
No.
You've heard of Saragossa?
No.
It's a city in Spain.
Okay.
And the community in Saragossa, I don't know if there are still Yidden there today, but they would have a day that they would celebrate as Purim Saragossa. And it's actually brought in Shulchan Aruch that whenever you have a miracle of the kind that we had at Purim, you can make a Purim, even if it's only for your own self. You can make a special day to celebrate it.
Right. There's more than one, not just Saragossa, the other places.
There's other ones also, yeah. So what happened in Saragossa was that every so often the king would sort of parade through the city, and the Jewish community, to honor the king, they would come out and stand in front of the synagogue, in front of the shul, holding the beautiful Sifrei Torah that they had. But the truth of the matter is that you're not allowed to take a Sefer Torah out from the Aron HaKodesh and into the streets, stam kacha.
Yeah.
It's the laws of Sifrei Torah. It's like a serious thing. And you have to treat it with respect. You don't just take it out just like that. So what they used to do was that the night before the parade, the shamash would go and remove the scrolls from within. You've seen the Sfari Sifrei Torah, right? The beautiful cases. He would remove the scrolls from within the cases, And when they would go out, they would go out just holding the cases which were empty. Anyway, one of the king's advisors was a big anti-Semite, and somehow or other he found out that this is. So he went and told the king, you think that they're honoring you, they're actually just making fun of you. Like, they're not really coming out with a scroll, they're coming out just with the boxes. So the night before the parade, the Shamish went ahead and he removed all the Sifrei Torah from within the cases. And then he went to sleep. And he has a dream, and somebody comes to him in his dream and says, go fast and put all the scrolls back into the cases. And the dream came to him in such as he better do it. And what the king had said to his advisor was, the advisor said to the king, you know what, when you're going to be at the parade next time, ask them to open up the cases. The king said, I will. And if you're right, I'm going to take revenge on them. But if you're wrong, you're going to the gallows. Anyway, the Shamish had this dream, and he went ahead and he put the scrolls back into the cases. And the next morning, the rabbis didn't know about it, but the king stopped, and he called over the leaders of the community who were holding the Torah scrolls. He says, I want to see what's inside. And they were like, oh my gosh. But they had no choice. They opened it up, and lo and behold, the scrolls were there. So they wrote a Megillah. They wrote a Megillah with the story, and they celebrate Purim Saragossa. Okay, so that's an actual halacha. What?
No, I like it.
Yeah. Okay. Page 199.
I know.
You know? Okay, good.
I am with you all the time.
Yeah, you were
But
listening.
I was locked into the house, so you should be an ambassador.
Oh, yeah. No, that's something else. Wow, amazing. I better watch what I'm saying.
So basically, the point of an infinite Purim isn't that necessarily like Purim goes on to infinity and we should celebrate it every day, but rather like if something happens to you like that is similar to
but not only that.
No, that we have the ability to every day have the option
to make
Rosh
it
Hashanah is Rosh Hashanah and that's it.
Right.
And Pesach is Pesach and that's it. Like not that's it.
It's a good shot.
Like now, Chas v'Chalila, like
right.
I went through a crazy experience where I was going through this, and I feel like I got Migalti miyad ra'ah, then I could celebrate a Purim.
There's another thing is that if you let's say if a person had a big miracle in a particular place, so when he comes back to that place, he makes a bracha, sha'asa li nes b'makom hazeh.
Right.
And I have a friend who was Mayor Fund. I don't know if you were ever there when he tells the story when he was hijacked.
Yeah.
Together with Reb Hutner. So every year he does a Sudat Hoda'ah on that day to
Jordan.
To
Jordan.
To give thanks for the miracle that happened to him, and he tells the story and so on. And but what Nuria is saying is very nice, but the other aspect.
It's not tluy b'tarich mesuyam, because Pesach we celebrate it because that's when we have
very nice pshat. But more than that is that the aspect of the Ein Sofiyut, in the sense that Yisrael, Afal Pi Shechata Yisrael Hu, right? Mm-hmm. That even the lowest Yid is still a Yid, and And even that lowest Yid also heard Hashem saying, Hashem spoke to him and said, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I'm Hashem your God. And he has that connection with the Rebbeinu Shalom. And we have to have that infinite connection with every single Yid as well. Okay? So then he says like this. I want to tell you another story that relates to Purim, even though it didn't happen on Purim. The worker had thousands of Hasidim, but we're just going to talk about two of them. Rabbi Moshe, one of them was Rabbi Moshe ben Adam b'Mamad Beinoni. He was an average person, lo ashimit, not too rich, but stable. Hasheni Rabbi Yankale, Anish Baniyim, and Rabbi Yankale was like Mamish, the poorest of the poor, Ani Ein Sofi, infinitely poor. Man came the time, he had to marry off his daughter. He went to Reb Moshe, he says, please lend me 1,000 rubles. Rabbi Moshe and Reb Moshe said, but you know that you won't be able to pay back. Rabbi Yankale says, I promise you that I'll pay you back. And he convinced him to lend him the money. Years went by. And Yankale really didn't have money to pay back. Now, Rabbi Yankale was a poor man just superficially, but inside, in other words, in his inner being, he was really wealthy as a person. He was filled with Torah and Chassidut. So Reb Moshe, the one who lent him the money, is looking out his window one day. So he sees that the worker Rebbe came to visit Rabbi Yankale, his neighbor. So he decided, so he decided that the time has come to get the Rebbe involved in getting his money back from Yankale. He knocked on the door. The worker opened the door. How can I help you? Rabbi Moshe Heshiv, he said, and the Lord said, I don't want to embarrass Rabbi Yankale, but it's just the three of us here. Yankale owes me 1,000 rubles ever since he married off his daughter. And I need my money back. The Rebbe said, we really have to take care of this now. So the Rebbe said to Rabbi Yankale, do me a favor, gather all the money you have in the house. Rabbi Yankale with Zikat Chametz, Rabbi Yankale started searching all around for whatever money he has, like as if he was searching for Chametz before Pesach. Like, when you're searching for the Chametz, you find a little crumb here, a little crumb there. And that's how he gathered all the money in that. It was in his house. And finally, he had all of 57 pennies. Rabbi Amar, the Rebbe said, 57 pennies. It's more than I thought. Mitzuyan, that's excellent. Rabbi Yitzchak spoke, and the Rebbe started counting. 1, 2, 3, 50, 55, 1, 2, 3, 50, 57. ואז הוא התחיל שוב לספור את הפרוטות מההתחלה, and then he started counting the pennies again. וככה הוא המשיך, and he continued counting the pennies, עד שהוא ספר 10,000 רובל, and he counted up to 10,000 rubles. הוא פנה לרב מוישה, התחיל לרב מוישה ונתן לו את 57 פרוטות, and he gave him the 57 coins, ואמר לו, הנה כספך עם תוספת ריבית, here's your money, you even got interest on it. כולם יודעים שרבי משה נהיה החסיד מבוקר הכי עשיר בעולם. And everybody knows that this Reb Moshe became the richest chassid among the Vorker Chassidim. Okay, so you can be sitting there and thinking, what? Am I supposed to believe this story? So, you know, the Sanzer once said, if you believe every Hasidic story, you're a fool. If you don't, you're wicked. Okay? So, understand, it's a whole other, take that and think about that. But look at how Reb Shlomo explains what he says about the story. He says, "Aten yodim chaverim yikarim, you know, my dear friends, Yom HaKippurim HaKadosh Baruch Hu sofer ha'avonot v'et ha'mitzvot shelanu." Yom Kippur, God is counting our transgressions and our mitzvahs. Zo yiska yishara, bless you. It's a straightforward cheshbon, a straightforward reckoning. Aval lo b'Purim, but that's not what happens on Purim. Kishemishu sholeach li tapuach be'uga, when somebody sends me an apple and a piece of cake, 10 million pounds, and I count them 1,000,000 times, as kibalti et ze million pa'amim, I got it 1,000,000 times. Kibalti mashu ein sofi, I got something infinite. Okay, so he's saying something very deep. He's saying that, you know why 57 is only 57? Because that's how you counted it. Because you counted it to be 57, and that's why it's only 57.
Does 57 have to do with anything?
In this story, they were talking about 57 coins.
Ketchup,
yeah. So, but if you counted,
choosing to end it where it is and not seeing the potential of it moving forward.
So, like, you know, when we go to a simcha, Judy prefers to give rather than money or a check, because, like, I know that for example, for herself, every time she looks at something that she got from someone, she remembers the person and appreciates it all over again. Right? No, but if you give just a check, you know, you spend it and it's goodbye, it's gone, and it's done. The idea is that, yes, we're living in a finite world, right? But we can also have a taste of infinite in the finite world. So Amalek had to be wiped out, but you see, I think I told you last week, I met in New York a young woman. She's a prosecutor in the DA's office, and her great grandfather was a big chassid in Montreal, formerly from Russia, and so she said that at the end of the day, it comes down to one question: do you believe that people are basically good, or do you believe that people are basically bad? It's the same question concerning history. Do you believe that you can do something to make a change in history? Or do you believe that basically history is going to happen whether you like it or not? And it's just find a way to protect yourself from the terrible things in history. Is when she's prosecuting somebody, is the attitude supposed to be that basically the person's a good person, but they got messed up, and we got to help them fix it through the prosecution and through the justice system? Or is the attitude of that the person is really bad and do everything that you can to get rid of them for as long as possible. So it should be obvious that the whole attitude of the Torah is that people are basically good, and that people do get messed up, and we do have to make corrections and fix things and so on. Okay, so are people? So when you have that attitude that people are basically good and so on, so good. So all that she gave me was a piece of cake and an apple from Shalach Manas, right? But she gave me so much more. But if I just count the one piece of cake and the one apple, I say, oh, that's all she can come up with, or phone. Right? Where's the car? Why didn't she give me a car? Why didn't, But if you believe that people are good, and wow, you gave me an apple and a piece of cake, that's so awesome. And every time I think about it, I'm receiving it again, and I'm receiving it again. That has an infinite quality. Understand? So Esther was the fixing of Chava, and how so? Because Esther basically was the main character to bring us Purim, to bring us the holiday of infinite, that has this infinite quality. Let's do one more paragraph. Is there anything sweeter or greater than to love one another?
No.
B'Yom HaKippurim, you're right. B'Yom HaKippurim אנחנו טובלים במקווה של כפרה, במקווה של קבלת התורה משמיים. This is a very beautiful line. Yom Kippur, we're dipping in the mikveh of atonement, of forgiveness, in the mikveh of receiving the Torah from heaven. Of Purim, אנחנו טובלים במקווה של משלוח מנות ומתנות לבנים. Purim, we're immersing ourselves in the mikveh of Shalach Manas and the gifts to the poor.
The difference between Makom and Chavah.
Ze ha-mikveh hachi amok. This is the deepest mikveh. Hu nogeya amok bifnim. It touches you very deep inside. Katuv b'pasuk mikveh Yisrael Hashem. It says in scripture that the mikveh of the Yidden is God. Right? What is a mikveh? A mikveh is basically, you go underwater, right? And you can't live underwater, right? So you go underwater, and that sort of represents, in a certain sense, ending whatever was till now, and you're coming up from the water, it's like you're new and fresh again, right? So what he's saying over here is like this: Mikveh Yisrael Hashem. The word mikveh is also related to the word of tikva, hope. Okay, mikaveh. So the mikveh of the Jewish people is God. Now here comes a twist. The Rav Hagaon Mirogachev Zal, that's how his view that Pasuk Rogachev explained the verse as follows: Gam haribono shel olam tovel. God is also dipping in a mikveh. And what mikveh is he dipping in? Hu tovel b'mikveh shel Am Yisrael. He's dipping in the mikveh of the Jewish people. Now we're Hashem's mikveh. Taru lasmechem, imagine this. Gewalt, b'mikveh shel alev sheli, b'ahava ha'in-sofit, Shakadosh Baruch Hu natan v'noten li. In my heart, the mikveh in my heart, the mikveh of infinite love, which Hashem has given me and continues to give me. Hakadosh Baruch Hu tovel b'mikveh shel kol Yehudi. God is dipping in the mikveh of every Jew, in the heart of every Jew. And we're also us in the heart of the other, in everyone else's heart. When you dip in a mikveh, you have to be completely covered under the water, so that nothing, no part of the body can be seen outside the water. And also when I'm giving you shalach, a piece of cake and an apple, and I don't give it to you face to face, but through a messenger. And in that way, I'm expressing to the person I'm sending shalach manos to, it's like I'm saying, please allow me to enter the mikveh that's in your heart. It's something very deep.
I don't understand why the shaliach adds to that. Why does it have to be
because we learned that the whole thing of mishloach manot is to send it through a shaliach.
Yeah.
And there's many aspects to that, okay? And one of them is that we want the person to know that even when I don't see you, I'm thinking about you. Okay. Over here, just like the mikveh, you go into a space which is not visible to the eye. Okay. We're not talking about the mikvahs like you have today with the filters and all that stuff, but the good old-fashioned mikvahs. But basically, you go underwater and you're not visible. It means to say that you're going into a space where your kindness can't really be measured. Okay, so by Reb Shlomo says, by sending the shalach manos through a shaliach, it's like saying, let me go into that place where in your heart where you're not going to be measuring me. Okay, so we'll continue this tomorrow. Please remember we're on 201.
Haman